Winds in the east, mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. It must be my Mary Poppins Returns review. Shall we begin? Hey up guys, so big apologies for the delay in this review. I've been meaning to review Mary Poppins Returns for like a week, but Christmas festivities have kept me busy, so I'm only just now getting around to recording my review. Mary Poppins Returns is directed by Rob Marshall, and this film is not a remake, in case you're wondering. It is a sequel to the 1964 classic film Mary Poppins, which starred Julie Andrews, who of course immortalized the role of Mary Poppins. This film is set 25 years after the events of what happened in the first Mary Poppins film, so it's set around 1930s and it's still in London on Cherry Tree Lane, and it follows the Banks family again, except this time the kids from the first film are now all grown up. That's Michael and Jane, and they are played by Ben Whishaw and Emily Mortimer, and their whimsical memories that they shared with Mary Poppins when they were kids are now dismissed by them as just childhood imaginations gone wild. And Michael Banks has recently lost his wife, and now he's a single father trying to raise 3 children, and the house is a little bit chaotic and it's forcing the kids to grow up a lot quicker than necessary. And Michael is having some financial trouble because he took out a loan with the Fidelity Fiduciary Bank and he put up the house at 17 Cherry Tree Lane as collateral. And because he missed some payments, the bank are going to repossess the house in 5 days unless he can find a share certificate which his father George left behind. The Banks family is in disarray. So in comes Mary Poppins, this time played wonderfully by Emily Blunt, and she comes equipped with a trusty carpet bag which has got plenty of tricks in there, and she's also got a few new songs in her repertoire. I hold a special place in my heart for the original Mary Poppins film. It truly is a classic, and it's evident from watching Mary Poppins Returns that Rob Marshall loves the original film too. He's paid meticulous attention to crafting a sequel that respects the original but also captures the spirit of it. It's a Mary Poppins film for Mary Poppins fans. Just from the opening credits, when I saw the hand-painted title cards, I felt safe in director Rob Marshall's hands. I'm so happy to say that Mary Poppins Returns is everything that I wanted it to be. A magical, joyful, loving follow-up to the original. This film made me so happy. It gave me that same sense of childhood glee that I remember feeling when I used to watch Mary Poppins on a constant loop on VHS when I was a kid. And Rob Marshall has somehow tapped into that magic, that lightning in a bottle of what made the Mary Poppins film so wonderful, and he's managed to recreate that same feeling. I can't believe I felt the same sense of magic watching this sequel. And how did he manage to do that? Well, there are numerous reasons, but the primary reason has to be Emily Blunt's performance as Mary Poppins. Wow. I mean, talk about following in some huge footsteps. The original person to play Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews, is synonymous with the name Mary Poppins. And what I loved is that Emily Blunt didn't copy Julie Andrews' performance. She's found a way to put her own stamp on it. She's a bit sterner, she's a bit more stiff upper lip, and she's excessively posh. Yes, alright, come children, jiggity jog, spit spot. She's still a narcissistic sociopath, disregarding the adventures that she shares with the children as just childhood flights of fancy, but she does have that little twinkle in her eye which lets you know that she's in on it. A truly magnificent performance from Emily Blunt. But the entire casting in this film is fantastic. Ben Whishaw and Emily Mortimer as the grown-up version of Michael and Jane, they're brilliant here too. Particularly Ben Whishaw, because he carries a lot of the emotional weight of the film. Lin Manuel-Miranda, who plays this film's equivalent of Bert from the first film, who was played by Dick Van Dyke, he plays a character called Jack, who is a leery lamplighter, and he's wonderful here too. His Cockney accent isn't perfect, but it's much better than Dick Van Dyke's, that's for sure. And all 3 of the kids are superb and adorable. I'd say the weakest character in this was probably Colin Firth's bank manager, because he's essentially the villain of this film, but he does feel a bit paper thin and a bit one-noted. But what else makes this movie special is the little flourishes and creative choices, which are clearly classic throwbacks to the original, but it doesn't feel like it's copying the original. The hand-built sets like Cherry Tree Lane are gorgeous, and there's this wonderful animated scene which sees Mary, Jack, and the kids take a trip into this ceramic Royal Doulton bowl, and this entire sequence is magical to watch. It's a vibrant mix of 2D animation and live action, and the whole scene is just so pristine. And Sandy Powell's costumes in this scene are divine. The outfits that they wear carry an almost impressionistic veil of colour. It's almost as if the costumes themselves are animated, even though they're not. That's how beautifully detailed they are. Immaculate really is the word. And Sandy Powell, I can't decide if she's going to win Best Costumes for Mary Poppins Returns or The Favourite next year, but undoubtedly, she has taken home that trophy no matter what. And the majestic instrumental score by Mark Shaman is astonishing. It perfectly permeates the magical and mischievous themes of the story. And I know some people have complained and said that the songs in this film aren't as catchy as the ones in the 1964 film, but I think that's a bit of an unfair statement to make because, yeah, the original Mary Poppins film came out so long ago, we've grown up with those songs, and of course they've become classics because, you know, time has aged them well. And yes, the new songs may not be as instantly catchy as Chim Chim Cheree, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, or A Spoonful of Sugar, but it's unfair to say that they aren't good because there are some absolute corkers in this film. The song The Place Where the Lost Things Go, that song got me. That is such an emotionally charged ballad, and it's all about holding on to the memories of the ones that you love. It is just a stunning song. I blubbed like a baby. There's also a cabaret song in this film called The Cover Is Not the Book, and that was a wonderfully jaunty song, and for all you Hamilton fans out there, that is the moment where Lin Manuel-Miranda truly shines. And the closing song of this film, Nowhere to Go But Up, is about as close to classic Disney song perfection as you can get. That song, that whole scene even, just wow. If Mary Poppins had seen me in the cinema, she would have said, "Close your mouth, Luke, you're not a codfish," because I was literally like this all the way through. The word that most accurately describes this scene is uplifting, both literally and figuratively. And it features the singing talents of a national treasure. And I defy anybody to not shriek with glee when they see this wonderful lady show up on screen and start singing. Oh my god, my heart melted. And speaking of awesome appearances, there's another person that makes a cheeky cameo a couple scenes prior, and when this person showed up, I just couldn't handle it. I was overjoyed to see this person. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the two legends that make cameos are both magnificent. And Rob Marshall's flair for choreography is toe-tappingly infectious, particularly in the scene with the song Trip a Little Like Fantastic. It's like seeing a West End or a Broadway show. As for my negatives when it comes to this film, I would say it does feel a little bit too long. It clocks in at just over 2 hours, this film, and it does feel like they could have made it a bit shorter. There's a scene where Meryl Streep shows up as a relative of Mary Poppins, and she's called Topsy-Turvy, I think. And this whole scene with her is fun, but it doesn't really do much to affect the story in any way. Like, if they had taken Meryl Streep's scene out, it wouldn't have changed the story at all, so it does feel a bit unnecessary. But when you have Meryl Streep in your film, you don't cut Meryl Streep, even if she adds nothing significant to the story. And I also thought that the Admiral character, you know, the one that lives a few doors down from the Banks family and fires a cannon like every day, he didn't need to be in there. Like, his subplot was completely unnecessary and that could have easily been taken out. So I'm just going to sum up now, guys. Mary Poppins Returns truly is a splendid, pitch-perfect cinematic experience. What I loved most about this film is that it has the spirit of the original film coursing through its veins. It's familiar and comforting to anyone that is a fan of the original Mary Poppins. And it's a film that just emits joy. I felt so good walking out of the cinema. I felt better about the world. It's a movie made to make you smile. It really is a feel-good gem. Let's ask the 3 questions. Would I watch this again? Absolutely. Already ordered it on iTunes. Cannot wait to watch it again. Would I recommend it for you guys? Certainly. Go watch this film, guys. It is a wonderful, magical treat. A perfect festive film to see with the whole family. It'll warm your heart, it'll put a smile on your face, and a spring in your step. If you need a break from reality and you just want to feel good, then Mary Poppins Returns is guaranteed to make you feel amazing. It's super duper flippin' fabutacular expiali awesome. I love this film, guys. I can't recommend it enough. And what score am I going to give it out of 10? To say this film had to follow in the footsteps of a classic. There was a lot of pressure on this film, and no, this film isn't perfect, but then again, the original is not perfect either, but it still is a wonderful treat of a film. It is fabulous, this film. So I'm going to give Mary Poppins Returns a score of 9 out of 10. Practically perfect, but not quite. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That was my review of Mary Poppins Returns, but I would love to know, what did you guys think of Mary Poppins Returns? Did it live up to the expectations of the original? Whatever you think of this film, please let me know in that comment section below. If you guys like this content, don't forget to click subscribe, alright? And if you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, all the information is in that description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.